Hiyo, it's me, Io, the popcorn philosopher. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome, 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 fellow alien and fellow philosopher. It's me.
Wow.
Wow. Do 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 do. Wow. Yes, Kate Bush. Wow. Wow, indeed. Well, I guess that's just a premonition of things to come.
The prophecy is true.
Because guess what? We're on to Kate Bush's second album, Lionheart. Really excited about it. Also a little apprehensive, just because I've heard from a couple people that this is not one of her best albums. Although I haven't heard it for myself, so I'm going to keep an open mind. But even, I'm not sure where I read this, like an interview with Kate Bush, where she was talking about how she felt that this album was rushed after the first album. Don't rush me! After the first one was such a big success. But like I said, I'm going to keep an open mind. And by the way, sorry I have been away for much longer than I wanted. Things have been, let's just say, really rough. Things have not been the best. I hope you guys had a better holiday season than I did. I don't know about you guys, but you know, sometimes you have such high hopes for your holiday season, and it ends up being a bitch with a capital B.
Is it a bee?
Yes, it is a B. But more than that, it basically turned my life upside down and things have been crazy. And I'm just trying to, get back to doing what I love, and that's hanging out with you. Hopefully I can cheer myself up by listening to some great Kate Bush music. I always feel a little bit better after hanging out with you and getting into some good discussions about music. So let's do it. Let's listen to Kate Bush's Lionheart from 1978. And this did come out really soon after her first album, so you just never know. So let's stop talking and let's start listening. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to do this in two parts. I didn't want these reactions to be super long, and I have such a hard time editing down Kate Bush's music because it seems to me that most of the parts seem essential for what comes after it. So I always have a hard time editing it down. Editing it down. That's hard to say. But I do have to edit it a little bit just because of copyright. I don't want a copyright strike. So anyway, so this is Symphony in Blue. Oh, this is unexpected. I love the reverb on her voice. It's so creamy. It's very sophisticated. Interesting. We got some proggy guitars. Back kind of more halftime. I like how it went into that kind of descending, how it went to that kind of, is that vibes maybe, or maybe electric piano was like kind of a descending melody. Felt very haunting. This was unexpected though, because it's not, to me it didn't sound like an opening track. I mean, I guess it does sound like an opening track, because it is an opening track, but it feels like something that's more further into an album. In fact, it kind of reminds me a little bit of L'Amour Is Something Like You. Is that the name of this song?
She's an old lady. I mean, look at her. She's old.
I forget, on her first album. It has a similar vibe to that song, kind of sophisticated, sexy, but it also has its own thing going for it too.
She's dead, red in my mind, and all the jealousy lies. Red in my eyes, for promotion ties, manipulation, the danger sign. The more I think about sex, the better it gets. Here we have a purpose in life, good for the blood circulation. Good for releasing the tension, the root of all reincarnation. I see myself suddenly on the piano as a melody. A terrible fear of dying.
More progressive rock guitars. Lovely. I like how it goes into this slower part, this halftime part. Oh, back to the top. Is she saying Louvre? Like the Louvre? Very unexpected for me. Kind of strange too. But not strange in a like, oh, that's so crazy. Just strange in a way that it's almost like a 70s easy listening song mixed with like jazzy quiet storm, but also kind of with progressive rock guitars in there. Fascinating chord changes. It sounds more like a grower though. That's why I think it doesn't sound like an opening track. I think maybe I might like this song more as I listen to it more. It's not grabbing me immediately, but I also like could see a lot of elements that I really do like about it. It's just moving with such an incredible opening track for the first album. I don't know if I'm sold on this one yet, but I also like it too. Feels very personal, which is pretty unusual, at least so far I've noticed in this Kate Bush journey. Kate Bush usually talks about other people rather than the lyrics being confessional, which makes me think of another Blue, namely Joni Mitchell's Blue, which lyrically this sounds like it could come off of that album, at least from a confessional standpoint. But musically, it sounds like it could come off of her Court and Spark album. Interesting. I like how lyrically Kate uses complementary colors of red and blue. Blue for heavenly, spiritual, philosophical matters, while red is matters of the flesh. I particularly like the line here in the red section, good for releasing the tension, the root of our reincarnations, which reminds me of the Albert Brooks movie Defending Your Life, which I think has a brilliant, deceivingly simple philosophy. And the line in Symphony in Blue reminds me of how fear in that film is the reason why we keep getting sent back to Earth. And that first line is blue, not Lou or Louvre, like I first thought, which makes much more sense. The second song on the album is In Search of Searching for Peter Pan is the name of the song. Ooh, I like this. Very haunting.
Such a long week, so much crying. I no longer
Like these piano flourishes.
I've been told when I get older that I'll understand it all.
Vibes.
I'm not sure if I want
Electric piano or vibes?
running into her arms at the school gate.
I like that piano
She
melody.
whispers that I'm a poor kid, and Granny takes me on her bed. She tells me I'm too sensitive.
Nice harmonies.
She makes me sad. She makes me feel like an old man. She makes me feel like an old man. They took the
on the background vocals. I am loving this. This is so beautiful. I love the opening haunting piano melody, great harmonies. Very, very haunting sounding, magical. Like, they're really getting a lot of really great textures, these very magical sounding textures. And kind of like the first song, it goes back to a haunting kind of piano and vibes kind of melody thing going on. Very haunting, leaves you like in this really soothing, magical place.
Loves to look in the mirror. He tells me that he is beautiful. So I look too, and what do I see? My eyes are full, but my face is empty. He's got a photo of his hero. He keeps it under his pillow, but I've got a pin-up from a newspaper of Peter Pan.
Oh, Peter Pan. I like that he only mentioned the name once. At least so far. This part's so unexpected. It's almost more uplifting. And then, like, drama.
I will be an astronaut and find Peter Pan. Second stars, straight unto light. Second stars, straight unto light. Second stars, straight unto light.
Ooh, nice. Nice ambient sounds, synths. I guess searching for Peter Pan must transition into the next song. I just realized that. I always like a good transition. Just like a good toaster oven. Beware the space heater. Nothing like a good heating element. What am I talking about? Interesting transitions into the next song, but also interesting transitions in the song itself. I like all the different sections. This song is an instant grabber for me. It grabbed me immediately. The one thing that was kind of weird was how it goes into the chorus part. I feel like, well, it's the chorus part. It sounds like a chorus part, but I feel like from a mix standpoint, it could have hit a lot harder because it has a very catchy, uplifting kind of chorus. And maybe like things like that, sometimes if something is rushed, it's the mixing that kind of gets pushed aside or maybe not looked at as much. But other than that, I really liked this song a lot. It was haunting. It had lots of cool parts. There was drama. I liked it. But let's look at the lyrics too, because I only heard her mention Peter Pan once, and I'm kind of curious more about what she's talking about in terms of Peter Pan. Peter Pan, peanut butter. Not that Peter Pan. Peanut butter. And jelly! Musically, this is one of the simpler tracks, at least for Kate Bush standards, although there is an interesting key change in the post-chorus. Lyrically, though, there's some really interesting things going on. Although the overarching thing seems pretty easy, I kind of think it's about how children have these role models in adults, and kids are sponges, and how easy it is for children to absorb both good and bad qualities. How children are born with this magic that slowly gets destroyed by adults as they grow up. Although it's still there if one really looks. I think that's why she quotes "When You Wish Upon a Star" at the end to give us some hope. Well, the next song that we're going to listen to is a song we had a little taste of in the beginning, and that's "Wow." And I have heard this song before. Like I said in other videos, the only thing I knew about Kate Bush was her greatest hits, and this song's pretty much on every greatest hits album, but I haven't really listened to it very closely, so I'm kind of looking forward to listening to it with a little closer intensity. Again, there's a transition from the second song. Kind of ambient arpeggios. Little whispers.
We're all alone on this day.
Wow, the vocal production really is nice on this album.
We've been told we're not afraid of you. We know our lines so well. We've said them so many times, time and time again, line and line again. Ooh yeah, you're amazing. We think you're incredible.
This is such a great pre-chorus.
You say we're fantastic, but still we don't have the beat. Wow, 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 unbelievable.
That tremolo, like pit strings. God, the vocal production on this album is so good. I really love all of the reverbs. It feels like they've perfected the reverb that they're using on her voice. It all kind of sounds very similar to Moving, which I think it's my favorite reverb vocally on the first album. And it feels like they probably kind of just perfected it here. I just love the confidence in just having a 2-word chorus. To me, that's amazing. I like how the verses are kind of complicated and wandering, and then you kind of get a little more focus in the pre-chorus, and then, you know, this really focused 2-word chorus that happens. The chorus is just uncomplicated and celebratory and so uplifting. It's catchy, but not in a cheesy way. It's only 4 notes, but yet it's not repetitive.
Nunchucks!
Things were getting entirely too serious. Never mind, back to the regular scheduled programming.
As his death, you know it's not for real. He just holds his breath.
Ooh, effect on her vocal.
Always dies too soon, too fast to save himself. He'll never make the scream. He'll never make the scream.
The synths are very lush here
That
too.
movie queen. He's too busy hitting the Vaseline. Oh yeah, you're amazing. We think you are really cool. We'd give you a part, my love, but you'd have to play the fool. Wow, 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 unbelievable. Wow, We're all alone on the stage tonight. We're all alone on the stage tonight.
I really love the orchestration on this song too. Love it. Love how it kind of fades out like that. The synths and her vocal all combining together. Nice. Beautiful. I love the orchestration on this. You know, I heard flutes, I heard all kinds of things. Lots of like little touches coming in and out. I really want to hear it again, honestly, because there was just so much going on, really. This was definitely the obvious single. I mean, at least so far. I haven't heard with the rest of the album. But it's just so obviously a single. I've never really appreciated how well written it is. It really is a masterclass in tension and release. That's just release. But I was trying to listen to what she was saying, and I still am not quite clear about what she was saying. So let's look at the lyrics. For a song that has such a heavenly chorus, this is very subversive. And it's certainly cynical about show business. Although I guess I could have guessed that because of that part that says, "Ooh yeah, you're amazing. We think you're incredible." It definitely sounds either sarcastic or sycophantish. It's a word. And this line that she's talking about here, is she talking about anal again? I was sure she was talking about it on the last album, on that song, the saxophone song, which I was sure she was talking about groupies doing anal. Check out my Kick Inside video to hear me talk all about that. The next song we're going to listen to is Don't Push Your Foot on the Heartbreak. Is that right? Yeah. Don't push your foot on the heartbreak. Boy, have I been there. Let's see where Kate is going with it. This sounds a little bit like Peter Pan, actually, the Peter Pan song earlier. Am I crazy?
Come down. She stopped the light shining out of her eyes.
A lot of electric piano on this album. Or vibes, vibraphone.
So many places stuck in no gear because of the fears of the skidding wheels. Skid over wheels, she feels skidding wheels. Skid over wheels, she feels skidding wheels. Wheels skidding clearly.
Ooh.
Her heart is there, but they
I think we're ready for a rock moment.
her heart is all there, but she's no control. Come on, you gotta use it now. You know what it's like, and you know you want to go. Don't try to slow
Oh, back at halftime.
Put your blues where your shoes should be. Push your foot on the
Okay, well, I really liked in the beginning how we had that kind of mix between the electric piano and the acoustic piano. Gave it like an interesting texture, and just the way the vocal came into that texture is really pretty. But this does sound a little, reminds me a lot of Peter Pan, the Peter Pan song, especially how it also comes back into that kind of piano hook that starts the song out, which is also kind of similar to the very first song. It has something kind of similar as well. This was definitely a time when we were ready for a rock, like a rock track, and I really liked the chorus. The chorus was really like, it was really taking me there. But lyrically, I wasn't quite sure what she was saying, and it didn't really grab me as much as, say, the chorus of the song kind of reminded me of James and the Cold Gun a little bit. It had that kind of like straightforward rock vibe. It has kind of like that theatrical rock vibe that was like kind of Phantom of the Paradise kind of vibe. But lyrically, this didn't grab me as much as James and the Cold Gun grabbed me, which maybe that's what people are referring to. Some of these songs kind of feel like songs that belonged on the very first record, but they don't quite grab me as much as the songs from the first record did. Not that it's bad or anything like that, because I'm really enjoying this so far. Actually, more than I thought I would, honestly. Maybe Kate Bush, this album was rushed. Even Kate Bush being rushed still is incredible, you know?
She's severe, herself to blame. Well, take care of yourself, but remember Georgie. She's so on in a whip and she can hardly see, but she's dropping beats. Red, red glasses bleeding, dropping beats. Red, red glasses bleeding, dropping beats. Red, red on the pocket. she's no control. Well, come on, you gotta use it now. You know what it's like, and you know you want to go. Don't drive too slowly. Don't put your blues where your shoes should be. Don't push your foot on the hot brake.
There's the title of the song.
Oh, come on!
Yeah!
Use it now. You know what it's like, and you know
So she's really going there.
don't drive too slowly. Don't put your blues where your shoes should be. Don't push your foot on the hot brake.
Ooh, harmonics. Oh, I love harmonics. Is there anything more magical than guitar harmonics? I say there's not. There's a lot of great guitar harmonic songs. What am I thinking of? Like Fleetwood Mac, U2 maybe, Throwing Muses. There's a couple Throwing Muses songs. I don't know. What's your favorite harmonic song? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. What is your favorite guitar harmonics song? I'd like to hear some more because it's always magical sounding, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. I just realized I am enjoying this much more than I thought I would. It kind of is like an extension of the first album. This song kind of reminded me a little bit of James and the Cold Gun, and the very first song, Symphony in Blue, reminded me a little bit of L'Amour is... I always get the name of how the rest of the song goes. L'Amour is something like you? I don't know. More malapropism. Is that a malapropism? Malapropism? I don't know. More malware. Malware. Virus. E. Don't know what's wrong with me. It's late. I'm punchy.
It's a bit nutty.
But the one thing about this is I've really enjoyed pretty much everything we've listened to so far, but maybe not as strongly as I did most of the things from the first album. Maybe like Searching for Peter Pan and of course Wow. I think those songs really stand on their own. I mean, all these songs stand on their own, but I think those two songs are as strong as the songs from the first album is what I'm trying to say. Some of these other songs feel like songs, they're still great, but they feel like songs that were ousted from the first album, like Leftovers or something. First of all, any song that mentions the name Emma is automatically going to give me the feels because my grandma's name was Emma and I loved her very, very much. And the best parts of me wouldn't exist if it wasn't for her. But this was the only song I had to look up because I was very confused by it lyrically. But looking it up didn't help much either. And I started to feel a little guilty because I like to form my own opinions. So taking my own shot at it, it seems like it's about painful relationships. But there's lots of car metaphors and puns, and I wonder if this song was a song Kate overthought. I have certainly been guilty of this writing music. You want to fit what you're saying into a concept, but it ends up just confusing people. It's part of being a songwriter. Not every song is going to come out the way you want it to. But maybe I'm just not getting it. I would greatly appreciate it if you let me know in the comments if you know what this song means. It's a fun rocker though, with much needed contrast to the rest of the album. It's interesting to me that we're getting a lot of songs here that are similar structurally. These last 4 songs have all played with halftime in some way. Also, most of these songs start off with a catchy piano arpeggio, have dramatic shifts in their choruses that go right back into the arpeggio from the beginning, which is interesting because we had so much variation structurally and arrangement-wise on the kickin' side. Still great songs, but that's probably what's kind of giving it that leftovers. Okay, next up we have Oh England, My Lionheart.
Oh, England, my Lionheart, I'm in your garden, fading fast in your arms. The soldiers suffer, the war is over.
Recorder, maybe?
The air it shelters the blooming clover.
This has almost a Renaissance fair vibe.
My London Bridge steals the kids in Kensington Park. You read me
Peter Pan.
from the Rolling Stones.
We got harpsichord, we got recorder.
Ever-ends of thumping hearts. Hold the ravens in, keep the tower from tumbling. Oh, England, my Lionheart.
Ooh, beautiful harmonies.
England, my Lionheart.
Almost hymnal.
Oh, England, my Lionheart. I don't want to go.
Wow, I have a lot to say about this. First of all, if this is a Peter Pan concept album and I'm just now realizing it, I'm gonna feel really not very smart. I guess I'll figure it out as I go back and look at the lyrics. I've probably been realizing it all along, maybe. Hopefully. Like I was saying, this has a very Renaissance fair, medieval, we've got harpsichord and I think recorder or flute. I think recorder maybe. You don't hear recorder very often in music. The beginning starts off kind of cautious. We have a, oh England, my lion heart. To me it sounds cautious almost. And I love those harmonies. When it gets to that part, it has a hymnal vibe almost. It's just a really nice orchestration all around. And different, much different than the rest of the record so far. I can kind of see why people compare Tori Amos and Kate Bush. They're very different in my opinion, but certain tones in her voice, songs like this kind of show me that kind of comparison, because I think on Boys for Pele there was a lot of harpsichord and kind of high ambient vocals, lush harmonies. On one hand I can see the comparisons, but I can also see so many differences too.
Drop from my black Spitfire to my funeral march.
Funeral march.
Give me one kiss in apple blossom. Give me one wish and I'd be wassailing in the ocean. My English rose, oh, with my shepherd who'll bring me home. Oh, England, my Lionheart. Oh, England, my
Love these harmonies.
Lionheart. Oh, England, my Lionheart. Oh, England, my Lionheart. Oh, England, my Lionheart. I don't want to go.
Oh, that's it? Oh wow, that was a short song. At least it felt short. How long was that? That was about 3 minutes. I have noticed that on the first album there were a lot of shorter songs. I feel like this album has a little bit longer. I felt like the first album, a lot of the songs hovered around 3 minutes, just like this song. This was 3 minutes and 12 seconds. For this type of music, that's fairly unusual, but I like it because I always feel like, why overstay your welcome? I always think it's better to leave someone wanting more, but I also don't mind a long song either, so. I really need to take a closer look at these lyrics, so let's do that. Okay, I'm grateful to know that this is not a concept album about Peter Pan. I thought it might be because of the title, Lionheart, but then I remembered Richard the Lionheart is in Robin Hood. So, yeah, that's embarrassing. But I wonder if she does mention Peter Pan just as a thread through the album. We do have a lot of songs that use whimsy, but overall this song feels like it's about England itself and maybe what it means to be English. I myself am not English, so some of this might be going over my head. It's not my favorite song on the record, although I do love the use of recorder and harpsichord, which we don't get to hear very much. Well, thank you so much for dropping by for the first part of Lionheart. Loving it so much more than I thought. Let me know what you guys thought of Lionheart. Like, what was your first impression of it? For those of you who have followed Kate Bush since the beginning, what did you think of when the second album came out? Did you like it? Were you disappointed? I really would love to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see the second part. I'm gonna try to get it up as soon as possible. You know what I mean. That's what he said. No, seriously, liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that helps the channel out so much. And I'm trying to make this my full-time gig, so that really, really helps a whole lot, helps the channel, if you feel so inclined. I just realized I cheered myself up. See, I told you hanging out with you makes me feel so much better. It's also pretty good that I like my own company. It certainly doesn't hurt that I found myself so amusing. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, that your life is wonderful, beautiful, musical, and I hope that I get to see you next time. Popcorn Philosopher over and out.